Are you hand modeling? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Print Tutor Show. Charlton was just telling me that he's dreaming of a career of becoming a hand model. I hope everyone is having a very fantastic Friday so far. I'm so glad it's the end of the week, ready for the weekend. So it's also, shockingly, Charlton, it's the end of August already. Like, am I the only person that's having trouble with this?
Well, the one reason why I'm kind of disappointed that August is over, because if the viewers remember, I had a deal and a bet I had to do, and I was unsuccessful. So next time they see me, I might be looking, quite different. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
only.
actually, guys, it's good that Charlton's mentioning this because the same goes for me. I also very badly lost my bet. I'm very sad about it. I really wanted to get enough email addresses, not just to save my hair, but just because, I love my job and I'm quite sad that I failed in this. But we're gonna keep trying. But Charlton and I are both gonna be working different looks. Yeah, very exciting.
No,
Oh gosh.
I'm already, I'm already so nervous. Hey, like, I don't know how I'm gonna face my significant other. She's gonna be
I know.
very, very weirded out at first, but I mean, we're gonna have to be people of our word, eh?
Yeah. Okay, guys, just before we launch into today's video, it's very important that you please subscribe to our updates that our founder sends out once a week. In these updates, I'm posting the link in the comments down below. Here it is on screen. These updates are the best way for you to save when ordering the Print Tutor. We send out special offers in these and also really important tutorials and tips from Alex himself. So please do subscribe to that. It's free to subscribe and we only send it out once a week, so we do not spam. Please make sure you do that. Otherwise, you are, in fact, missing out. Okay, cool. Charlton, so as I was mentioning that it's already the end of August because I was thinking this morning, it's already calendar season almost. It's almost time for everyone to kind of get their calendars ready. And that to me is so shocking that we're already this far into the year. It feels like it was only February like a month ago, but yeah, it's freaking crazy. So I thought a good video today, and Charlton also thought this was a great idea, and I think it's a really good idea, Charlton, is to discuss the black plate changes versus the full color plate changes, because Charlton, I think you'll know quite a few people have a lot of questions about this, and it can be quite confusing. So we're quickly going to cover that today.
Yeah, I've actually usually it's great that you mentioned we are now in calendar season. I think we're
Yeah.
well into the second half of the year, and we have been receiving a few requests for calendar quotations and orders, right? So, like you did mention, there's always that issue when it comes to our DeskPad calendar products, and specifically when it comes to the colors that are used when printing them. So I like how you mentioned how there's black plate changes and full color plate changes, right? So I'm not sure maybe if you just know a little bit more on that, like what are black plate changes, what are full color plate changes, and what is it that a client needs to know when they want to place an order for either of the two color options?
Okay, cool. Okay, so I think let's start with just a brief, like, what is the difference? I'll explain it. And then I also really want to show you, we do have a video on our YouTube channel, guys, that is very, very helpful. And it kind of shows it in a visual way. And then I can also quickly show you guys a quick calendar design. I'm not going to design it from scratch, but I can just show you what we mean when we talk about the black color plate changes when you're actually setting up your design. So, okay, so firstly, this is applicable to DeskPad calendars, which has multiple pages usually. We do this on the LithoPress, so that is why if you're printing DeskPad calendars, we need to create 4 plates per each page that is printed. So think of a plate as kind of the stamp. If you stamp a page, that plate. So if you have the 4 different colors, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, those are the 4 different plates. And those 4 kind of stamped on top of each other on the one page creates the end result and the end design with the different color values. So for each page of your artwork, a new plate needs to be made. And also if all of your elements change from page to page, 4 new plates needs to be created for each single page that is printed. And that is why the full color plate changes, that's what a full color plate changes, or they're a lot more expensive. But if you only make sure that only the elements that are purely black, 100% K value changes from page to page and all the color elements stay the same, then we only need to create one new black plate for each change, for each page. So it's a lot cheaper because there's not as many plates that we need to make for your artwork. So the only difference then is you need to know how you're setting it up. If you're ordering black plate changes, which most people tend to do because it is a lot cheaper, then you need to make sure that you set your artwork up correctly. Otherwise, you are going to have issues and massive delays, and no one wants to have their calendars for 2021 delivered in June 2021. So it's important to get this right from the beginning. Yeah, and also I just want to mention, if you do have the resources to actually spend on the full color plate change, I do think it's worth it because it doesn't limit the design as much. Having a black color plate change does limit what you can do with the design a little bit more, obviously, because you can only have the numbers and stuff. I'll show you guys now in the actual file change from page to page. But if your design is simplistic in any case, then it's not necessary to spend that much, and you can opt for a black color plate change. Okay, so I think the best way, Shelton, before I rant on too much, is to show you guys the actual file, right? So let me just share my screen. Great. Okay, so this is the video I was talking about. What is the difference between black plate change and full color changes for DayzPad calendars? This is on our Printulu YouTube channel, so please go check it out and subscribe, leave a like. This basically explains visually what I have just told you guys. So this is quite cool. It's a nice visual way to show you what I'm talking about. But let's move on to our file. So here you have your basic DayzPad calendar design. You have the 12 pages from January to December. This is a template I used for the 2020 DayzPad calendars for Printulu. This is set up for a black plate change. So you'll notice that everything that has color in it, Shelton, you must stop me if I'm going too fast. Everything that has color in it is exactly in the same place, exactly the same color from each page to page. Do you see this? These elements are color, but they're staying exactly the same on each page, and they're in exactly the same position on every page. I think I can actually show you guys on the PDF as well. Do you see the only thing that changes from page to page are the numbers and the month on top? Everything else is exactly the same. Cool. Shelton, following me so far?
Yeah, I'm following. Just a quick one. I'm sorry if this sidetracks you a bit. You mentioned earlier that black plate changes works for elements on the calendar that are purely CMYK black, right? So the K elements, right?
Yes.
So how about let's say, for example, gray or white? Can that also adhere to the black plate changes?
Yes, it can. Okay, great. That's a very good question. So where you will have trouble is if you have an actual photograph, like an image of a person or whatever that you maybe designed in Photoshop and changed to black and white. That's probably going to be an issue. A lot of people have that as a background. That is not black plate changes. I'm just putting it out there right now. Usually, especially if you're working in Photoshop for a photograph and you're importing it into Illustrator, those values tend to stay full CMYK. So you're probably going to have trouble if you do that. But if you have a basic design like this, let me just zoom in here. Let's say you're number 4. So all of these black elements are 100% K, and C, M, and Y are 0. Do you see that? So the best way you then want to go for gray is to just fiddle with the K. You keep these zeros. So you can go for 70% K, and there you have gray. So that still adheres to it. That's totally fine. You can even go lighter. It's up to you.
Okay, so basically, as long as it's gray, white, or black, then it can adhere to black plate changes.
Yes, because you can change those values on just the K value. So what you do get often, this logo will probably be, okay, so this logo is also 100% K. But because this is the same from page to page, you could theoretically have this color and it would be fine. Let me show you what we mean with a standard black, flat black, which is what I just showed you, the 000 100. But some of the blacks you will have, especially in logos and such, because it's a richer black, it doesn't print as flat and gray. You will have this kind of mixed color value here between the CMYK, and that doesn't apply to black plate changes. So as long as this stays the same on each page, you can do this. But for something like the numbers, which are changing from each page to page, or the month, which are changing from each page to page, you need to make sure that they are 100% K and 0 CMY. And then obviously when you're exporting this, I'm not going to do this now because this takes forever. But when you're exporting this, you need to make sure that all of your text is embedded, creating the outlines. And you also need to make sure any images you do have are also embedded. Yeah, and export that with crop marks. You'll notice that I have a bleed set up around all of the pages. So that's basically it. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is. But if you have any, and also if you have public holidays and stuff, this also changes from page to page, so that also needs to be 100% K. But that's basically it. Let me just get our faces back here. Cool. Okay, so I don't know, is there anything I need to clarify even more, Shelton? Is there something that wasn't clear maybe?
Okay, like from the way I understood it, right? Just maybe like if I'm trying to put it in more you know, for me and more people like me, something that's more idiot friendly. So just maybe this explanation, tell me if it works, right? So the way I understood it is that if anything is on, let's say the January, so the first sheet of the month, that's January. So if anything changes from January to any other month, if there's any change in the design of the artwork, and it is in color, then you have to select full color plate changes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But if everything from January straight through to December in color remains the exact same, and anything in gray, black, or white changes, then we can select black color plate changes.
Yes. The only thing is what I just showed you is to make sure that it's set up correctly, because sometimes black can be deceiving, and if you're not checking the color values, there can be other CM and Y values in your blacks. So that is why it's important to just pick the actual CMYK color values when you're creating a design for days by calendars. But that's the basics of it, yeah. It really is, it's not that complicated. I think it's just yeah, it can get confusing when you don't have a visual representation, and I think explaining this over the phone is impossible. So that is why we did this live today. That's why we also have a blog post covering this called RGB versus CMYK, and we also obviously have the YouTube video explaining it. So I'll link all of those in the comments down below as well. Shout out, you're also free to go through it. It might be good. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope that clarified things a little bit, because it's almost calendar season. Oh, crazy.
Yeah, no, like we like mainly obviously, you know, once again, thank you for this, Trudy. I feel like when we do explain some things that are more harder for us to explain on the customer service or sales side, it really is quite difficult. So maybe I hope this serves as another means of getting the information across, because at the end of the day, right, we really just want to make sure that the client gets their product exactly the way that they want it, you know. So these things like the plate changes, like you mentioned as well, usually in the past, it really has affected, especially the delivery time, you know. So when it then now comes to having to make the changes and then talking to maybe the various designers and what they need to do, so all that time, you know, usually then ends up delaying the delivery. So really thank you for this. I think you've made our jobs a lot easier now. At least some people that do watch the live video will know exactly what they need to do for the plate changes. But I think on my side, I fairly understood it. You explained it well.
Thank you. Give myself a pat on the back there. But guys, like if you don't have the correct software to actually be doing this, then save yourself the hassle and rather get proper design services. You can use our design services. We do this every year. We know what we're doing. Yeah, I'd rather save yourself the hassle if you don't have the right, if you don't understand it and you don't have the right software for it, definitely rather get a professional to do it for you, because otherwise you are going to sit with delays, you're going to have trouble with this. And I think we want to try to, everyone's had a hard year. We want to try to keep it as smooth as possible this year. So yeah, I'm excited to see those calendars rolling in. Yay. But okay, guys, just one last shout out to the updates from our founder. Please make sure you subscribe to that. It's very important. We send out really useful tips and information like this, once a week. Alex sends us updates, also pricing updates if anything's changed. We recently had delivery service changes, so that's really important for you to be aware of. Please go check that out. And yes, that's pretty much it from my side. Shelton, thank you so much. I think this was a very useful video, and hopefully it'll help quite a few people.
No problem at all, Trudy. Thank you again for having me. And hopefully the next time the people will see me, I'm going to be looking a lot different. So guys, like take a picture, because you might not see this in a while. I'll be looking very different.
Oh gosh, I promise nothing. I'm not doing anything this weekend. So hopefully for another week I'll still look normal, but we'll see. Maybe next weekend I have to rock the green and the fringe.
Let's try and renegotiate. Hey, I also feel like, hey, I kind of accepted that bet a little too eagerly. So yeah, let's try and renegotiate and see if we'll be successful.
You can try, but yeah, guys, I don't think he's going to be successful. But okay. All right, guys, have a fantastic Friday. Thank you for joining me.
No problem.
Stop negotiating, Shelton. Just go get the hair done. Yeah, guys, have a fantastic Friday and a lovely weekend. I'll see you guys again next week. Cheers, everyone.